Hello and welcome again. My name is Sue Rios, and thank you for joining me in this discussion about gratitude and how just the simplest feeling of gratitude can alter the entire chemistry of the body, the energy, the output, the input, in other words, what you attract from the world into your life, almost instantly. At least that's my own experience with it. And I had heard about, doing this kind of gratitude thing. I think I heard of, and this gentleman was saying something about, just try it on various things. So recently I did that, and I think it was, I was having a kind of a negative thought about my husband, which is not too uncommon. Um, and, not that I don't think he's the greatest guy in the world, but sometimes our thoughts, just like everything else in this world, is subject to gravity where they're pulled down. And if we're not aware of it, if the ego gets control of you in the thinking process, those thoughts are going to sink faster than you can even be aware of it. And the next thing you know, you're in fear, or you're in anger, or you're in grief, or you are in resentment, frustration. You're pulling things out of the past to be angry about. So when I found myself in that mode, I thought, okay, here's an opportunity, to use this gratitude experiment. And so I started thinking about things to be grateful for. Actually, what I decided to do at that point, instead of just finding things to be grateful for, I thought about what it was I was complaining about in my mind, or what the mind was gravitating toward, and that complaining mode. And I simply said, what is the opposite of that thought? So, without trying to think about it, it just, the mind started gravitating toward the opposite of that specific thought. And it went into a really nice area. And before I knew it, that opposite thought started lifting me up. I mean, literally out of the hole that my mind had taken me to, or the ego. And I was feeling so much better in my body. I mean, it's almost like we're allowing things to hold us down, pull us down, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. So that means the frequency of the cells, the cellular vibration, the output that we're putting out to the world, everything is affected by these thoughts. So to raise them up, to bring them to a higher frequency, means now that you're bringing healing to the world. You're literally bringing a finer resonance of vibration, of light, probably resonating more to the photons that are photons of the light particles within the atoms, and so that you're bringing more of that into the cellular makeup of your own being, your own spirit, your own physical self, and um, and so it changes everything. And I just started riding this wave for a while, and it was like, okay, what else can I complain about, so I can figure out what the opposite of that would be. And so it began to show me that it works that fast. It really works that fast, and but the ego doesn't want you to go there, so you kind of feel those little resistance ones, because if you're used to complaining, or you didn't even know it, because you just think that was the thing, and you had a justifiable right to do that. That's what the ego does. It tells you you're justified in those complaints and feeling down and depressed and all that. So those are the ultimate opportunities to pull yourself out of a very degrading place. A place, it's degrading because it's holding you back from who you are. And who you really are is the savior of this world. When we can finally raise ourselves up and get away from the fearful thoughts and away from the gravity of negativity, which comprises everything you see on TV. If you were to look at a book of yellow pages, everything in that book is based on fear. The transmission place, the doctors, the lawyers, the Indian chiefs, they're all there because they're going to save you from some negativity, and they're selling their service, which is, it's cool, it's great. However, if we didn't have the fear in the first place, these people would be out of work because we would be transforming our world. We would be transforming our lives. We would be making ourselves more healthy. We would be using the kinetic energy to move things, to radiate more light to the world, to clean up the air and the water. And I just feel that because I can feel it in myself, I feel it growing in myself. I also feel that there is the other side that is trying to keep you from knowing about that, because that other side is where the ego lies. And the ego knows its days have come to pretty much an end where mankind is being uplifted. So we need to take the opportunities to exercise this new muscle, because we haven't been using it a whole lot. There have been people in the past that I've heard of. For instance, Padre Pio. He was one of the people in history that was able to do many things with his true self awareness and power. One being by location, healing the sick, and he's been seen flying around in the clouds, during World War II. And that was a documented story that Dr. Carolyn Mace has talked about a lot in her teaching, in her seminars, where he's in the clouds telling the U.S. Bomber flights not to come and bomb this area of Italy, because the Germans had fled and all they would be doing is bombing the little town. So they turned around, they dropped their bombs somewhere in an empty field, and someone reported back that they had seen a monk in the clouds. Anyway, it was Padre Pio, and that's just one of the little stories. So I know that sounds a little bit out there, and it does sound out there, but it's a true story. So look up Padre Pio if you want to hear about those. There's a lot of people that can bilocate, that are in two places at the same time. This is a new awareness that's coming to all of us. We don't believe it right now. And the truth is, we don't believe in a lot of things. Even if the people that say they're Christian, they are believers in Jesus Christ. And I tell them, well, do you believe that you can heal the sick and raise the dead and say to the mountain, move, and it will move? And they don't believe that. And I said, well, that's what Jesus said you could do. He said you could do that and greater with a little tiny itty bitty amount of faith, smaller than a grain of mustard seed. So the fact that we aren't exercising our God-given powers means that we don't believe that we are worthy of this kind of power, this kind of truth. And so that's what we have to work on. We need to work on the fact that we are now awakening to this beauty, to this power, to this peace, to this reverent new awareness of our true selves. And it's about time that we get that straight, because it's going to carry us, and it's going to save us. It's a loving, embracing energy that is permeating every cell of your body, every particle of your mind and your spirit and lifting you to a higher place where you truly belong. And you don't have to die to be there. You don't have to die to experience this. And I'm not saying you're going to walk on water tomorrow. You might. But I am saying that it's going to lift your spirits. It's going to make you a better person, a greater, a happier person. And help you to uplift your thoughts when they do start to fall and to gravitate and sink into sad, dark, scary places. Stop listening to the news for one. That's a pretty. It's never, rarely positive. And there's a lot of things we can focus on. Focus on nature. Focus on how the animals are just in total, presence. They don't worry about tomorrow. They just are in this moment. So, the things around us everything is teaching us about who we are. So, thank you for sharing. If you have any comments, please list them below, and please subscribe and thumbs up if you would. I appreciate you. I love you, and I wish you a wonderful, peaceful day. Thank you so much.